Guys, who let the dogs out? I'm going to explain in metaphor the thing about men, women, sexual harassment, and consent, right? So, essentially, when men are forming in the womb, okay, when old people are forming in the womb, early on, we are all females, okay? We are all females. And what happens is that the clitoris that forms when the hormones trigger to create them to make the fetus a male, or the embryo a male, a man, what happens is the clitoris turns into a penis, right? Over time. I'm not saying immediately turns, I'm saying over time. What becomes the penis is the clitoris. The penis is essentially a 5, 6, whatever inch clitoris. This is why men are the way they are. Women, imagine, women are fairly sexual. Yeah, women get horny, women have sex, women masturbate, women do little kinky bits, But imagine your clitoris is 5, 6, 7 inches long. And that's the level of stimulation that men are enduring, okay? The level of stimulation that men are enduring. We are walking around with 5-inch clitorises, talking to our brains, telling us, go get that thing, go that piece of ass over there, that piece of ass over there. That is why men are the way they are. I'm not excusing the behavior. Men need to use our brains more, and we need to tell our penis, stop it, yeah? But that is why men do what they do. Our clitorises are 6 inches long, 5 inches long, whatever. Our clitorises are bigger than that, yeah? Bigger than that. Nearly all of them are bigger than that. Bigger than that. A woman's clitoris is what? My pinky nail, smaller than that. My pinky nail right there. My nail, not even my finger. A man's clitoris is bigger than my finger there. A lot bigger. Yeah, that's a soft one. Okay? That's a soft one. When we're aroused, it's way bigger. Yeah? So men are walking around with enormous clitorises. We are overstimulated clitorises, yeah? So, that's why men are as horny as they are, right? What way can you think of that? Well, when a man sees a nice woman, okay, essentially what that's like is you've put a plate, you've got a plate, you've put steak on that plate, cooked steak, a big lump of steak, and there's a dog in the room. Let's just say it's an English pit bull, right? You've got a plate, you've got a steak on a plate, and you've got a pit bull. Now, is that pit bull going to immediately snatch the steak off the plate as soon as you lower it low enough? That depends. Have you taught the pit bull that that's wrong? Have you taught the pit bull that he has to wait for the steak, and that you've got to wait? He's got to wait until you say eat before he eats the steak. Is the pit bull trained to snatch the steak out of your hands? Is he trained to jump up and grab the steak off the plate before you even lower it? Is he going to attack you to get to the steak? How have you treated this pit bull? How have you trained this pit bull? Can you put the steak down and walk out of the room and leave the room for an hour and come back and he's just sitting there with drool hanging out of his mouth, just like raging to get at the steak, and he's not even going to get it yet, and then you go, eat, and he eats? Have you trained the pit bull to like attack people? Have you trained him to attack people at any opportunity if there's steak in the room? How have you treated that pit bull? What have you done with that pit bull to make him for his food manners? Yeah? I'm not saying women are pieces of meat. What I'm saying is that men are dogs, and essentially to a man, when he's horny, because like I know for a fact when I'm horny, I'll tell you what kind of dog I am. Okay, I'm a pit bull that shakes and dribbles and drools and give me the steak, but I don't go for the steak. Even if you leave the room for 10 minutes and come back, I'm just going to be rolled on my back on the floor. I want the steak. But I'm not going to do anything, okay? And in fact, even if you say, eat, I don't trust you enough because I've been told I'm a bad dog so much. I don't trust you enough that when you say, eat, I'm still not going for the steak. Because to me, if I go for the steak, I get beatings. Yeah? That's to me, and that's how I understand things. If I go for that steak, I'm going to get hit in the head. That's the kind of dog I am. Some men are the kind of dogs that they'll bite your ankles to get to the steak, you know? Some men are the kind of dogs that they'll wait until you leave the room and they'll go grab the steak and they'll eat it and then they'll go and hide in the pantry and pretend they haven't done anything. Yeah? Men are dogs. I'm not saying women are meat. I'm saying men are dogs. That's the kind of dog that I am. I don't know when it's okay to go for the steak, so I don't go for the steak. That's just the bottom line. Men are different variations of dogs. All men have been trained to the steak differently, okay? You have to know how the man, to know a man, you have to know how he eats steak. Yeah? Let's go. This is a bit like the consent bit like that consent discussion about the cups of tea, isn't it? It's a bit like that.